My name's Josh Christie. I write a blog called brewersandbooks.com and also freelance about beer. And my book, Maine Beer, Brewing, and Vacation Land, came out earlier this year. Or came out last year. Very broadly, my book is a history of beer in Maine from the earliest days, pre-Prohibition, pre-Revolutionary War, early days in Maine, up through the Maine law and Prohibition in the state, up through Prohibition nationwide, and then up to the brewing culture we have here in Maine now. So you can really split it into two parts. The first chunk of the book is that early history and kind of a straight history book about that stuff. And then starting with Geary's, which opened in '85, it's a really chapter a piece guidebook on every brewery in the state chronologically. Overall, a lot of it was secondary sources. I would say probably half of the brewers I went and talked with the breweries themselves, I visited all of them, but about half of them was extensive time spent with the brewers, with the founders, touring the facilities, talking about the history, stuff like that. And the other half was research from secondary sources, newspaper articles, other books, stuff like that. I'd never been up to the Kennebec River Brewing up in the Forks, just because it's so far away from everything else. And I'd had their beer in six-packs before and thought it was okay, and hadn't realized that those beers were contract brewed out of state. So the stuff they have on draft at their pub and brewery is totally different and really excellent. And they have, 8 or 9 brews, so a bunch that you never see down here. Just the fact that everyone was so welcoming. It's beer, especially craft beer, exists at this weird fusion of the business of brewing and these really creative people that tend to be the brewers. So they're all just so excited and so happy to show you their beer. Some are a little more cynical at this point than others. Some of the guys have been around for a little while, but for the most part, even them are just so excited to have this product that they can stand behind and be proud of. After I'd finished college, I ended up doing a couple different jobs, worked in a warehouse for a while and stuff like that, and felt like the muscles in my brain used for writing were atrophying a little bit. I never had aspirations as a writer, but I think as a student, as a college student, from the time you're in kindergarten or first grade where you're used to writing and getting this stuff out, and then when you graduate college, if you don't have a job that uses it, all of a sudden it just ceases. And I felt like that I was losing some of those skills, so really for myself more than anyone else, I started writing about books and beer, which are the two kind of my biggest passions. Just reviewing and general editorial stuff and stuff like that. And that turned into pitching and eventually selling a couple freelance things, working as a columnist, writing about the outdoors for the Maine Sunday Telegram, and eventually being approached by my editor at the History Press to write a book for them. Yeah, absolutely. I won't open it up because this one has all my highlights in it.